Welcome back to Talking Restaurants. I'm Chuck Villafranca, and I am here with
Ken Dudek.
Welcome back to part 2 of our food cost segment on restaurant profitability. Now, we were talking about how a restaurant should be making 20% profit, and the clients that we have before we brought them on and people that we surveyed were averaging 5 to 7%. Just a little quick recap. With that being said, we're going to go into specials on your menu. Now, you should always have 3 specials per day for dinner. Lunch, maybe 1 or 2, but for dinner, 3 specials a day. Maybe it's a smothered ribeye, mushrooms, onions, provolone cheese, whatever you have that's not on your menu. You could upsell that for $3 more than you would profit-wise, as far as like if you were making, let's say you're making $7 on it, you price it out at making $10.
Right.
Because your customers cannot price check that against anything else on your menu. Never, ever, ever, ever take anything off your menu and discount it. All you're doing is telling the customer that you could sell that product for less. And they may just not buy it until next time it's on a special board. So always take things that are not on your menu, make them a special. Like one of my favorites is an Italian baked fish. I like to do it in garlic pepper seasoning, some nice olive oil, chopped onions, tomatoes, and you cook that all together, drain the oil out, right? You put some provolone cheese on the top, bake it off real quick. Big seller. You could add a $3 onto your baked fish. If you're selling a baked fish for, $13.99, now your Italian baked fish becomes $16.99, and you spent on cheese, tomatoes, oil, and onions another 50 cents. And then
that's amazing. Yep.
Those are the kind of things that you want to do. So that's a simple one. And now we're going to get into purchasing. Now this is not vendors. This is purchasing. Making sure that you have par levels. That is huge because if you're monitoring your business, you know how many cases of French fries you go through a week, how many cases of this, and so on. So make the effort of having a par system in your business or in your restaurant because it's going to help you keep dollars in your pocket, not on the shelves. You cannot pay your electric bill with 4 cases of prime rib. So always get par levels and make sure they're accurate. And you could do that by just looking at your usage sheets and most people have a POS now.
Yep.
That will say, okay, I sold 75 steak dinners this week. So now 75 steak dinners, you're getting so much per strip loin, or if you're buying them already cut up for yourselves, then you know exactly what your par level is going to be. And you always buff it by a case because you never know. So if you're going through 100 steaks and there's 25 in a case, and that's 4 cases, so you make sure your par level is 5.
What do you think your inventory should be on hand, like on the shelf?
Well, it's based on your business.
Right. As a percentage of your sales, like I always kind of figured maybe 20% of your sales.
No, there's really no set number like that because you move out. What if you're selling, your biggest seller is ribeye,
right?
And we all know that's $400 a case.
Right.
So that could drive your inventory up if your par level is 4 cases.
Yep.
So a percentage is not. It's just your mix. What you're going through, knowing your business, looking at your POS system, and looking it over and seeing what you're selling. It'll help you create a par system. Or if you have a program in place, which is what we're going to get into at the end of this segment, is having some kind of a system, a profit and loss statement to monitor your business, things that give you a food cost by category, chicken, seafood, produce, dairy, and so on. And then even going deeper where you could click on that category and get a food cost per item. These will track and create pars almost automatically for you, systems like that. So we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the segment. So purchasing par levels, it reduces waste for the reason of first in, first out. If you have great par levels, then you're constantly serving fresh product, better for your customer, less chance of spoilage, and so on. And again, purchasing comes down to that truck cost. I want to bring that up again, how important that is. Contracting with a vendor, knocking out 2 or 3 vendors. you're going to save $200 to $300 a week in truck stops.
Absolutely.
And you don't see that money.
No.
That's money you don't see and can't track. And you never even know it's there. But trust me, it's there. So by contracting with a vendor, you're cutting that right out, depending on how many vendors that you have. Again, it could be $100, $200, $300, $400 based on how many vendors you have.
And having that primary vendor is going to guarantee the freshness of the product. Like the one client I was talking to you about before, they would order from one vendor or 5 vendors, and they would freeze their products because they didn't want to. They wanted to wait to order.
Oh, right, because one vendor carries something the other ones don't have,
Right.
And they're not going to buy from them for another 3 weeks.
Right. So they freeze everything.
So they buy 10 cases and freeze it, and their quality level goes down.
Way down.
Great point, Ken.
Yep.
Back to with the vendor and the specials. Let's say you want to run some specials, and reach out to your vendor sometimes.
Yeah.
If you're contracted with a vendor, they're going to give you some free cases, some samples. They're going to send brokers in to do certain things, let you taste certain products. And, if it's something you're not currently buying from that vendor, they're going to give you a couple of free cases to run a special with. And if it goes really well, maybe that's something on your new menu.
Yep.
You want to incorporate that into your new menu if it sells well. And again, we'll get back to menus, but making sure you have seasonal items. Very important with profitability. Spring, summer, winter, and fall.
Yep.
And if you're in Florida, it's always summer. So, but we don't have that luxury here in Western New York.
No,
it's always winter.
No. In Florida, they got snowbird and non-snowbird season.
Yeah, right. And here in Buffalo, what is it? It's August 2nd, and it's 14 degrees out. I'm kidding. It's about 86. So get back to your vendors. They'll help you with certain things like that, and they'll even give you some great ideas. So let's get into, off the purchasing level, let's get into portioning. Anything that you can portion should be portioned. If you have a beef on wick and it's 5 ounces per sandwich, well, when you slice that beef, you portion it in 5-ounce portions.
Yep.
It's going to assure, number one, that every customer gets the same size portion. Because I don't want to go to a restaurant with you and we both order a steak dinner and we
Right.
get the 12-ounce strip, and all of a sudden I got an 8.5 ounce and you got a 15 ounce.
Right.
It's
And portion it, because putting a scale next to it and thinking that when you're busy that your employees are going to actually weigh out 5 ounces, it's not going to happen.
No, it's not.
Not going to happen.
no way.
No.
It's just not.
Yeah.
And so portioning anything that you can will bring your food cost numbers down. Here's a big one that a lot of restaurants really don't think about, is doing product cuttings. And the example I like to use, and there's many examples like this, is a top round. Right? Let's take a full-blown 27-pound, fat-on USDA choice top round. Right? I think the cost right now is about $2.38 a pound here in Western New York. Now, let's take a denuded, cap-off, USDA choice top round. And when you trim that top round, the big fatty one, down to exactly what that cap-off denuded would be,
Yep.
and you divide it by now you have, instead of 27 pounds, you got a net of 18 or whatever it's going to be, and you divide that by the invoice price, you would be shocked how much per pound you're really paying for that top round. You're going to save probably about 75 cents to $1 a pound buying the denuded choice cap off if you're on a contract with a vendor. When you buy a product, you have no way of knowing what that price is going to be unless you do the cutting. And again, if you're contracted with a vendor, they're going to bring you free one of each top round. They'll show you how to do the cuttings. They'll help you do the cuttings. And you can actually see the benefit. And it goes with turkey. It goes with ham. It goes with all these French fries. You can even cut French fries based on the size and the length and the plate coverage. It's all super, super important to do that.
What about that person that says, I like that fat because I use it for my gravies, or I use it for this? What do you think?
In my personal opinion, it's a myth.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to make an au jus and you want to cook the fat down and all that, okay, fine. But do you think a customer is going to know
Yeah.
if you made that au jus with a beef base over
No.
over?
Spending how long to make
Right,
it?
I mean,
How long does it
not-
take to make an actual?
It's
au
not
jus?
worth 75 cents a pound. Is my point.
Right.
Okay.
I agree.
And some chefs believe hands down that the fat makes the product so much better. Well, I would challenge that, and I would cook a top round for both, have a blind tasting to any chef, and let him pick out the fatty one. He's got a 50-50 shot. But
Right.
in reality, when you eat them both, come on. You're putting gravy on it. You're dipping it in
Right.
au jus.
Right.
There's so many different factors.
You want the flavor in the beef, not the flavor in the au jus.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yeah, of
You know
course.
what I mean? Yeah,
of course.
absolutely.
And the USDA cap off the nudie top round, in my opinion,
It gives you consistent product.
yeah,
too,
and you
know?
got possible less knife cuts
Yep.
because now you're not trimming this thing.
Yep.
So your employee, you're saving labor. And I don't mean you're saving labor because the employee's there anyway.
Right.
But maybe he can get out a half hour early.
Right.
At the end of the
portion French fries or portion something else that you have in portion.
Right. To save
Yeah.
money in some other area. So
right.
the productivity of that employee goes up, which draws down labor. Because again, if the guy can get or gal can get their job done a half hour early, they go home a half hour early. You just saved, if your average wage is $14 an hour, then you just saved $7. So it's looking at every single product that you can do a cutting on. Looking at products that are time savers, like just say chopped onions already. Looking at little things that you could use that will save labor. Again, we're going to get into that on labor, but it'll also help with the productivity of your employees is what I'm going for here, which will help save more money and consistent product. But it's got to be, the quality's got to be there. You don't want to buy a pre-done product if the quality's not there.
No.
Because you don't want to jeopardize quality is super important to any restaurant. So cutting products. Now, everything we just talked about is going to cut down on waste. Right?
Yep.
You got your power levels in place. You got stuff already trimmed up because how do you know that employee's not hacking the crap out of that top round?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's something we didn't talk about, like how they're not cutting corners. They want to be done quick, and
they're cutting their own steaks. They're cutting a 10 ounce. They're cutting a 12 ounce. They're cutting an 8 ounce. They're cutting and you will have that. You will have a nice chef sometimes that does it perfectly, but he's not there every day.
No.
He's not there 24/7.
Right.
So you're going to have other people stepping in to do these things that are not consistent. And then if you get an employee with bad morale, or he feels he's not being paid enough, or he feels he's not being treated right, or the management, sometimes I've seen in restaurants where the management pays zero attention to the employees. Like they could care less about their employees. Or you know how many gems you may have in your business? Diamonds in the rough if you just
develop them.
Take the time to talk to somebody.
Yep.
No, just talk to somebody. You may be shocked the experience they have. You may be shocked the talent they have, what they can do, where they've been, what they've done.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's amazing when you talk to somebody and it shows. It's got to be genuine, and it shows that you care about your people. So that creates less turnover. And again, that kind of falls into the labor category. And then having a system. The third part about this, and then we're going to wrap this part 2 segment up with food cost, is a system. Having a system in place. Every single chain corporation has a profit and loss statement that their managers have to do. It's inventory every week, not once a month. Because if you're doing an inventory every single week and you're running your numbers, food costs, operating costs, labor costs, every single week on a profit and loss statement, and your meat cost jumps 10%, right? It could be anything. It could be missed inventory, it could be waste, could be theft, but there's a reason behind that. It could be the price jumped $2 a pound.
Yeah.
But you know now I can fix that today. If you're off by even 5% and 4 weeks go by and you notice it because you're doing inventory once a month, well, you just lost 5% of your business for an entire month.
Right.
So let's say you're doing $20,000 a week, and you're doing so that's $80,000 a month in sales times 5. 8 times 5 is $4,000 because you had that jump of 5% in food costs and didn't catch it till the end of the month. It's got to be done every week, and the corporations do that every week. But having a system in place, and we can help you and steer you in the right direction to that. The 1-800 number is going to be up on our screen from time to time. Feel free to call us. We can direct you in the right direction to get a system like that. That's a lot of these systems that are out there too are $700 a month, or they'll tell you the POS system does this and does that, but it really doesn't. or you got to
Right.
buy an extra $1,000 package here and another $500 for that section, and you have to have a really sophisticated system. Then you got to have someone who knows how to work it.
Right.
Instead of having something just really simple on your computer in your back office where you can plug the inventory in, post your invoices, just add in your labor from your payroll company,
Yep.
right? You have all your operating expenses in there, and bing, bang, zoom, you got everything you need from food cost by item, food cost by category, operating expenses, labor, and you know exactly where you are week in and week out, and then you can manage what you see.
Yep.
You take a look at that as your structure,
Right.
and say, okay, these
Yeah.
are my goals for the week. My food cost was up 2%. How do I fix it? It was in meats, and I know that it was in ground beef.
Right.
So now we got to target that ground beef to get it back down as we monitor everything else and so on. And it just gives you some really great goals for the week.
And if you wait a month, you've already lost it.
It's gone.
Yeah, you can't get it back.
If you lose
one
fi-
week, you can
right.
might be able to fight through it and survive it, but you're gonna be able to catch it, and you're gonna save 3 weeks of.
And I've encountered many restaurants
Yeah.
that don't even do an inventory.
Oh yeah.
And they're out. They don't even run. They take a big box to their accountant, right? Big box to their accountant. 3 months every quarter. They drop the box off at the accountant. Now the accountant has to go through all these invoices. He has to post them. He has to go through all your sales, all your labor, come up with a profit and loss statement for you. So that takes him another month.
And probably gonna charge an arm and a leg because.
Oh my God, the extra
How many-
amount of money that he charged will be crazy. But without that's back to operating expenses
Right.
when your accounting fees in there. But he comes back to you and says, "Hey Frank, your food cost was 47%. Have a great day." He can't tell you where it is,
No.
where it went. Now you just let's say your goal is 35. I like a goal of 32 personally, but let's say you're running 35, and he comes back and it's 47. There's 12% of your business gone for 4 months now.
Right.
Not 1 month, 4 months. And if it's only 5% high and you're doing $1 million a year, 20,000 a week, now that's 80,000 a month. Times 5% is $4,000. Times 4, you lost 20 grand.
Right, and that's exactly what we're saying is that if
Just
you
in food, sorry.
if you think your current profit is 5 to 7%, and you're losing 12% because you don't have a system like that, there's 18% right there.
There you go.
Or
There's 17 takes you right to 17% on the low end of the average.
Right.
Now, if you got 15% or 12% and you got 7% profit, you're at 19
Right.
right off the bat.
Absolutely. Just by having a system to
As the
track your
Dagos would say,
food costs.
bing, bang, zoom.
Bing, bang, zoom.
I can say that because I am one of them. But, right? But you can mock up myself,
You can.
of course. But a system in place, and again, we can direct you to the right system for you for very low cost. We've got some people that we work with that can help you out there if you so choose. Again, we don't push anybody to do anything. We're just talking restaurants, talking about how you can make more money.
Yeah. We're just talking restaurants. That's all we're doing.
Yeah, just talking restaurants. So, and we can lead you in the right direction for a lot of different things, even if it's credit card purchasing. So, or your merchants, I should say.
Yeah, merchants. Yep.
So we're going to wrap that up here at Food Cost Part 2, and that's the end of it.
All right.
And I am Chuck Villafranca.
And I'm Ken Dudek, and we are Talking Restaurants.
And thank you for tuning in. See you next time.